I'm back with more information on BRICS. So this BRICS that I talked about in an earlier video is all about countries coming together and using their currency backed with gold. So we're going on back to the gold standard, this is how it used to be before they took us off the gold standard and put us on fiat. So BRICS was pending Saudi Arabia joining. So they're set to join, and they are walking away from the petrodollar, which isn't backed by anything. Now we have, after their summit, Argentina, Algeria, Iran, Indonesia, Turkey, Egypt, and Afghanistan have all applied. They're waiting for their approval. So you know what this means? 51% of the countries worldwide are now backed by gold, and they are now going to be in the BRICS movement of just dealing with other countries that have a currency system that is backed by something tangible. Now, this is going to continue to bring down the central bank all over the world. So more and more, it's looking like the U.S. has not actually done it yet that we know of on record. It was brought as a bill in October of 2022, but I don't think that the bill has actually gone through yet that we know of. I've looked it up. I couldn't see anything, but I just see that a bill was initiated, and now we have the IRS coming down, so a lot of things are going to change, and this is what we call GSARA. Okay, so GSARA is really showing the tone. It is really coming in, and it's going to change how all the currency systems are working, and that's where you get the QFS system coming in, where everybody's going to be on this platform who wants to participate. So far, there's hundreds of countries who are on the QFS system now. That's what the chatter is out there. And once it flips over, bye-bye fiat dollar with no backing. Okay, next I want to talk about the PPP loan scandal. Yes. Do you remember the PPP loan? When they shut down the whole entire world and it was like a ghost town. And then all of a sudden they came up with this bright idea so that we wouldn't, start going back to business and totally be upset that our economy was tanking. They decided to come up with the PPP loan.
Apply for forgivable paycheck protection loans is March 31st. That's next Wednesday. Across Arkansas, there are over 249,000 small businesses. Many of them are still fighting to stay alive and pay their employees. Luckily, help is out there, and these deadlines are looming, so you need to know what to do. We caught up with the U.S. Small Business Administration's Arkansas District Office. They tell us how you can get support.
The Paycheck Protection Program was authorized by Congress under the CARES Act to allow SBA to help assist small businesses and nonprofits deliver essential funding into their businesses and their organizations to keep employees paid and on payroll during the COVID epidemic. 100% of it is eligible for forgiveness if you use it on those covered expenses and payroll for your employees.
Now, with this loan came scandals that are now coming out. Now, these scandals that are coming out are from businesses.
3 Bay Area companies have agreed to pay thousands of dollars to settle allegations that they abused the Paycheck Protection Program during the pandemic. The 3 companies are La Baguette, which runs a bakery in Palo Alto. It's agreed to pay $430,000. In Santa Clara, Dynamic Integrated Solutions Incorporated, an industrial equipment supplier, will pay $50,000 in civil penalties. Also paying $50,000, Priority Acquisitions Incorporated, a licensed general contractor based in Castro Valley. The 3 companies are accused of getting duplicate PPP loans, then having the loans forgiven. Each is also paying back the original loan amount.
But the worst part is what Marjorie Taylor Greene brought out in a congressional hearing that involves a lot of just nothing to do with business. So take a listen.
The next panel witnesses. Here we are, a nation that our government spent over $5 trillion in COVID relief funding, and we can't find $560 billion, I believe, of that money of the Americans' hard-earned taxpayer funding. We're also a nation at $34 trillion in debt, and we're on the verge of having to handle our debt ceiling, raise it once again. And here we are looking at waste, fraud, and abuse. And gentlemen, I thank you for coming and speaking to our committee on this issue. And I know it's been a long day for you, but I would like to ask some questions about the type of funding that has been used with COVID relief funds, and it's pretty shocking to me. I read some examples. For example, Washington, D.C.'s Mayor Muriel Bowser plans to use $31.5 million in American Rescue Plan funds to transition homes to green energy over the next 5 years.
What?
As many small businesses were shut down, children lost 2 years in education, child suicide rates went up, and it's hard to even imagine a child committing suicide. Many people died from COVID. Healthcare workers were fired from vaccine mandates. Many other people were fired because of mandates, and all the issues that have come out of COVID. I want to ask about how this money has been spent, because clearly there is a tremendous amount of waste, fraud, and abuse, and a lot of our hard-earned taxpayers' dollars spent on things that don't even make sense that they've been spent on. So, Mr. Dodaro, if you don't mind answering a few of my questions, can you tell me, as our comptroller of the United States, how much COVID cash was given to abortion?
I do not know that answer. I don't have that answer.
Oh, okay. So I can tell you Planned Parenthood clinics received $80 billion in COVID relief loans, which is hard to understand how that happened. Mr. Dodaro, can you tell me how much money COVID cash went towards diversity, equity, and inclusion or racism issues?
Again, we have not looked at that issue, so I don't know.
Oh, geez. Well, I can tell you the Pennsylvania Humanities Council did receive $1.4 million in relief and used it for equity and geographic diversity. I'm not sure how that helped in a pandemic time. Mr. Dodaro, can you tell me how much COVID cash went to CRT?
CRT?
Critical race theory in education. It's a racist curriculum used to teach children that somehow their white skin is not equal to black skin and other things in education.
Yeah. No, I do not know that, but I do know that there's provisions that the federal funds generally are not used, are supposed to be used for curriculum.
Oh.
It's a state.
Oh, Mr. Dodaro, I have to tell you, in Illinois, they received $5.1 billion at an elementary school there that used it for equity and diversity. So it's being used for these things. Mr. Dodaro, can you tell me how much money was given to Drag Queen Story Hour?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Who?
Drag Queen Story Time, where men dress up as women and read confusing books to children.
First, I thought you said dry clean. So, I'm sorry. No, I don't know the answer to either one of those two.
Oh, we need to look into this, and I urge you to do that. Bradbury Sullivan LGBT Community Center in Pennsylvania received $16,000 for Drag Queen Story Time from COVID cash. I think this is an issue that needs to be looked into. A lot of this money went to things that it should have never gone to, and I thank you so much, and I yield back the remainder of my time.
Now, next, I'd like to talk about Antifa. Remember Antifa in 2020 burning down America? Yeah, they're back. They are back, not quite sure what's going on, but they started in Atlanta, and there was a buildup now in New York, And now here they are in LA. So look out for this. If you're driving around, try to stay out of it. If you see, these people in the middle of the street, just try to stay away. I don't know exactly what's going on, but we're gearing up for something here in the US. It's obvious because the last time this happened was in 2020 and it was ridiculous. It was just chaos all over the place. Now let's talk about severe weather. I mean, are we looking at weather modification? I don't know. Okay, so what we have is Las Vegas. Those of you who live in Las Vegas, you know that Lake Mead, where we were keeping our water reservoir in Las Vegas, was depleting really bad. And Colorado stopped sharing its water with Las Vegas. But we've had so much rain last year and this year, it's starting to rise again. So that's good for Las Vegas. It's also been raining a lot in California, helping their drought. However, California is not really stepping up and capturing the rain. So what is going on here in California? It's like they want this drought and the problems in California to continue. Now, the worst thing that's coming up, and I'm hoping it won't be as bad as it was in 2021, but Texas, again, is having a freeze. So they're having snow that's coming in and just some sort of freeze that's taking over. And we remember how bad it was in 2021. So they're gearing up, not knowing what to expect at this time.
Right, so I'm in the middle of a winter storm in Texas. They didn't put any salt down, and no one's coming to remove the snow from the street. I've seen 25 accidents, and it's just really bad. I'm doing about 13 miles per hour right now. There's no traction. I'm carrying about 30,000 pounds of weight. This is probably the worst conditions I've ever driven in.
Last on the list that I'm curious about, my little ding light came on, is Mr. T changed his profile pic, and some are elating it to he's got war paint on. Yeah, he's giving a feeling of the movie with Mel Gibson, Braveheart. So he's got like what it looks like Braveheart paint on, USA, flag on his face, and there are 7 stripes and 10 stars. So 17 for those of you who know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And he keeps mentioning April 1st. So I'm just like, what is going on for April 1st? Take a listen.
Because I see what's happening. I say, what's going on? What's happening? What's wrong? It's like April Fools, right? We have open borders when they should be closed. April Fool's Day, right? Who would want open borders with everybody just pouring in? We have prisoners and people from mental institutions and terrorists being dumped into our country when they should not be accepted. April Fools, right? Was brought up before, but now I bring it up as April Fools. Who ever thought of a thing like this? We have men who want to compete in women's sports. We have Antifa and BLM who hate our country and burn down our cities, and they're totally protected by law enforcement, and yet they put American patriots in jail. What's going on there? That's all April 1st, April 1st, April Fool's Day. We're begging foreign nations for oil when we have more oil than they have. They think we're crazy. They think we're totally stone cold crazy. I speak to these people. They say, you're begging us for oil. You got more oil than we'll ever have. I call it liquid gold. It's right under our feet. Record price. And they say, let's stop drilling. It's supposed to be the opposite. April Fools, right? April Fools, it's the opposite. But it's a shame when you see it, but that's April Fools.
Yeah, so with that, I'm going to close. and just say, let's look out for April 1st. April Fools will not be me. Okay. Thanks for stopping by.